Okay, so welcome to our self-care space today. I am Angela Lovejoy. I am the chair of the webinar committee and a board member of Psychologists of Color Incorporated. And the mission of Psychologists of Color Inc. is to increase the number of psychologists of color to, sorry. Sorry about that. So the mission of Psychologists of Color Inc. is to increase the number of psychologists of color completing graduate school, becoming licensed, and successfully launching their careers. And then we offer targeted support services. So that includes mentorship, support groups, academic tutoring, test preparation, and business coaching to psychologists of color. And at its core, the nonprofit is about racial justice and equality within the field of psychology. And so we aim to continue offering free events and tax-deductible donations will assist us with providing resources to the community. So I will add a link in the chat today. There's no pressure to donate, but that's always an opportunity. So for housekeeping, feel free to keep your camera on or off, whatever feels comfortable. The experience is more about comfort. Um, I do ask to keep microphones off or muted because it will be a guided meditation, so the experience is best utilized in a quiet and calming environment. But I will introduce myself a little bit more. I'm Angela Lovejoy. I'm a licensed psychotherapist practicing in the state of Michigan. I'm passionate about working in racial identity as well as with elders and working with caregivers. So my offerings today align with my passion for racial empowerment and caregivers. And I imagine anybody who utilizes the webinar is very likely a person who identifies as one or both of those communities. So I'm definitely excited to offer this today. As a note, I am Pacific Islander, so community and connection is very important to me. I do thank you for joining me today. Leave microphones off as we start the journey. The process will definitely involve me speaking in slow and relaxing tones. Some people fall asleep. That is absolutely okay. Let your body just naturally do whatever your body is going to do. I will actually turn my camera off as well as the purpose of the space is just for you to be able to relax, and therefore the less stimuli that you have, the easier it is to do that. I do encourage you to not engage in the event if you're driving, operating heavy machines. These are pretty obvious things, but still worth saying, or participating in any other activities that you could believe would impact your safety or risks during the activity. So there may be long moments of silence that feel uncomfortable for some people. Just sit in that discomfort. It's not always comfortable, the process, but it is part of the process. And often discomfort is a part of growth. So I will turn off my camera so that I can get the guided meditation going. It will not take long. It could take anywhere from 30 minutes or less, maybe even a tiny bit longer. It's not extremely long. But there is a lot of research that says even as little as 10 minutes of meditation a day has huge impacts on your mental health. So today that is the goal, is to just find a way to take care of yourself. So I will turn off my camera. Okay, I don't know if it picks up or not, but I'm going to turn up some music. Hopefully you can hear it. Okay, so welcome again. As we begin, I want you to acknowledge the weight that you carry every day. If you are a caregiver, your energy is constantly flowing outward and towards others. So for the next half hour or however long this takes, I want that flow to just stop. This is time for you. There's nowhere else that you need to be. There's no one else that you need to care for at this time. This time is dedicated and meaningful and for you. So find a comfortable position. If you are sitting, feel your sit bones pressing into the chair that you're seated in. If you're lying down, or if you want to lay down, feel free to do that now. And if you choose to do that, feel the floor or the bed supporting the full length of your spine. And I want you to close your eyes or simply soften your gaze towards the floor if you don't feel as comfortable closing your eyes. Okay, so I'm going to have you take a deep breath in through your nose and feel your ribs expanding, and then hold it for a moment. And then exhale slowly through your mouth, making a soft whoosh sound. So, I want you to do this 2 or 3 more times. With every exhale, imagine that you're dropping a heavy bag that you've been carrying and just let it hit the floor. If you are familiar with body scanning, that's what we'll do. If you're not familiar, I just want you to think about what I'm explaining. And the first thing I want you to do is scan your forehead. So are you holding a worry line in your forehead at all? If so, let it smooth out. I want you to unclench your jaw. Feel the tension just come out of your jaw. And then I want you to just drop your shoulders away from your ears. Caregivers often carry the world on their upper backs. So I want you to feel those muscles turn from stone to sand, just soften. I want you to bring your attention to your chest now. As a professional in the helping field or as a family caregiver, maybe both, a lot of the time our heart is our tool. So sometimes it feels full, sometimes it feels brittle. And I want you to breathe into the space behind your breastbone. Think intentionally on that. So breathe into the space that is your breastbone. Give you time to take those deep breaths and imagine that a warm golden light is glowing there. This light isn't for your patients or your loved ones or your clients. This is a reservoir for you. So just keep breathing into that space behind your breastbone and imagine that warm golden light glowing inside of there. I want you to think of your hands now. Scan your hands. Our hands do so much work. They do our lifting, our cleaning. In today's world, they do our typing, they do our comforting. And I want you to let them rest completely still right now. Feel the tingling in your palms. Feel free to either keep your fingers still or wiggle them if that feels more comfortable. Think about each finger one at a time and the sensation that each finger has in it. Acknowledge the incredible labor that your hands perform every single day, and just give them permission to be completely useless for this time that we have together, and allow them to have that time to rest. So working in this field, whether you identify as a caregiver at home or you don't, you are a caregiver. You are giving care every day to the people that you serve. So being a caregiver often comes with really complicated emotions that can include guilt, frustration, exhaustion. It can also include really positive feelings, joy, but we often judge ourselves for the more negative feelings, that guilt, that frustration. So right now we're going to practice radical acceptance. And whatever you're feeling, even if it is resentment or compassion fatigue, it is allowed to be here and you are human. So I just want you to just take some time to acknowledge those feelings and acknowledge that shadow. Now I want you to visualize a slow moving river. On the surface of the water are large, flat leaves. So take a moment to name a specific stressor. So perhaps a difficult shift. It could be a medical decision. It could just be a feeling, maybe a feeling that you're not doing enough. And I want you to place that thought or that feeling on the leaf that you're visualizing and just watch it float slowly downstream until it disappears around a bend. You aren't fixing the problem, you're simply letting it move past you for now. I'm going to give you a little bit of time so that you can visualize that moving through the river. And if there are any other flat leaves and thoughts or emotions that you want to place on those leaves and have move down the river, I'll give you some space to be able to do that. In the world of care, we are always living in the what ifs or the what next. So I want you to just come back to the present. I'll give you a few seconds to just kind of feel like you're anchoring yourself back. So right now in this room, you are safe. You are breathing. You are enough exactly as you are, regardless of any outcome of the work that you do. And I'm going to just say some simple statements that I want you to think about and repeat them slowly, allowing for time to just let them sink in. So you can repeat these out loud if you feel comfortable. You can repeat them in your mind. But the first thing I want you to just repeat slowly to yourself and allow time to sink in is, I cannot pour from an empty cup. I want you to repeat slowly and allow time to sink in this next thing, which is, my worth is not defined by how much I produce or how much I help. I'll say that again. My worth is not defined by how much I produce or how much I help. So I want you to repeat slowly and allow time for this one to sink in. I am doing the best I can with the tools I have. And again, repeat this one slowly and allow yourself some space to just let it sink in. I deserve the same tenderness I give to others. I deserve the same tenderness I give to others. Feel free to take a deep breath. Now, just calling back your energy, I want you to imagine all the pieces of yourself that you've left in other people's rooms, depending on where you work, whether that's in a hospital hallway, if that's in a family meeting, if that's out in the community in somebody's home. I just want you to gently call back that energy back to yourself. See it returning to you like threads of light, making you feel whole and solid again. start to wiggle your fingers. Start to wiggle your toes. Feel free to crack your toes if it feels comfortable. Feel the temperature of the air inside of whatever space you're in on your skin. Before we completely wrap up and open our eyes, I do want you to make a silent promise to yourself that you will carry a small piece of this stillness back into your world and into your work. Feel free to keep taking deep breaths. When you are ready, on your own time, slowly open your eyes. Take a final deep breath so that you're back, you're grounded, and you are deeply, deeply appreciated. Thank you for the work that you do, and thank you for taking this time for yourself. Okay, I think we're good to go. Thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate your time. I am going to put some things in the chat. Feel free to utilize or not. So, in the first thing I'll put in the chat is there is a link for a post-event survey. And it will also give you information on any future programming that we have. So this was more of a self-care space, a lot more low-key, but we do other webinars that are more educational based. Our last one, for instance, which you can find on our YouTube, was about costs around graduate school and kind of how to manage those. We have another webinar coming up in September that will be around specifically around burnout in the profession. So that's also something to look out for. Um, I will also drop a needs assessment in the chat. Um, and so, yeah, Psychologists of Color is seeking any information about the needs for our current and future psychologists of color. So we will use that information to just guide our programming and initiatives to meet those needs. So yes, feel free to look out for any emails from Psychologists of Color with a link to our needs assessment, but I will drop that in there as well. And it can help guide our mission as well. Um, I did already put the information in the beginning for donations, but this is the main page. And then obviously we have social media. So we would love to keep in touch with you in the future. So feel free to follow us on any social media platforms to stay up to date on any of our future events and programs. Our goal is not just to be existing, but to actually serve the community. So we have a lot of educational programs and offerings to the community. And so feel free to follow our social media and you can definitely get more and more information on there. So that does conclude the duration of our event today, but I do appreciate your time and I hope you have a really peaceful remainder of your day.